Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you as always, and as you can see, we are hanging out on Ashes of Typhon, looking at the burnt, smoldering ruins here on this map. Kind of reminds me of like Pompeii or something like that, with all the ash-covered, broken down, molten ruins here. This is actually, you know what, let's just take a look around. This is actually one of my favorite maps stylistically. It just has such a cool aesthetic to it. It's not one of my favorite maps to play on, but just looking around is just so cool looking. It's one of my favorite maps. Actually, you can see there's two distinct sides to this map. Over here, you've got like the kind of dormant, smoldering, just covered in ash and the yellow sulfur all over the place. All the very cool little ash formations and rock over here that's been melted down. And then as you come over, it just gets hotter and hotter. You've got the big crater here in the middle, which is just so cool looking. And then over to the left side here, we've just got the broken, scorched, cracked earth. No actual lava hanging around, but just such a measure of heat radiating off of this side of the map. I mean, all the trees are not even on fire, but it's just so hot that they're just withered and smoldering. Everything's just got a constant kind of simber and ember to it, and I don't know. This is just one of the coolest maps I think they've brought into the game. If only I enjoyed playing on it a bit more, because I love looking at it. Anyways, that's enough rambling for me. That's just the aspiring level designer in me kind of marveling at a more experienced person's work, because it is so damn cool. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. We've got two RUW players right here today. We've got DSM hanging out as our Imperial Guard Inquisitor with colors to match the map here. We got some nice lava-looking pants right there. Inquisitor, obviously a spell-casting hero, a dazzling array of nasty spells up her sleeve to put your army in a world of hurt. And on the red side, we've got RUW SkySilver playing as the Tech Marine, the master of ranged combat right here with a gun for every occasion. Also sporting some red and black with a little bit of gold there, so some nice looking color schemes, I'd say. So obviously this is a big, huge spread out map. Stuff is just all over the place. You got your two VPs down here, which tend to just get come down to a big capping battle, and most of the action tends to happen on the top side of the map. So we'll have to see how that works. Of course, being so spread out, that's why I don't like playing as Space Marine on this map. And no green cover anywhere. It's just all yellow cover. So maybe DSM will set up some green cover if they have the spare time and get some map control. We'll have to see how that works out. Anyways, standard capping going all over the place. We can see DSM not choosing to build a Sentinel right out of the gate and upgrading that power node pretty quickly. Meanwhile, SkySilver expanding into the middle, and someone dropped so DSM dropping power right away. So no Sentinel, dropping that power. That's probably going to mean fast catachans if I were to guess. Maybe a quick heavy weapons team, but I would say catachans are most likely. Combined with the Inquisitor, those guys can be super nasty. And right now, SkySilver just finishing capturing his rear points there, sending his tax down bottom to mess with the Inquisitor and maybe try to snag that BP, but otherwise just running around trying to get some map control early on and pulling everything right here into the center. This is a good fighting force to push forward with early game. Get your tax scouts and Tech Marine on the field. Tech Marine, by the way, getting that Artificer's armor right out of the gate. Don't normally see it quite that quick. Normally I wait until my Tech Marine's a little lower health and then can start plopping some mines down around, but we'll have to see if that pays off for him. Normally I would expect to either plop down an extra generator or two instead of that early War Gear purchase, but we'll have to see how it goes. Looks like the Tech Marine took a lot of damage right there anyways, and I guess that Artificer armor will pay off. Didn't manage to take much out. Of course, these early guardsmen can just pour out a lot of fire to these Space Marines, and just taking out one or two models makes a big difference, and you have to go so many guardsmen to even put a dent in the other player's requisition to really force them off. And DSM, that was a perfect push right there. DSM had to kind of try to bluff a little bit and push SkySilver back while these catachans were coming onto the field, since he didn't have a third squad of guardsmen or that Sentinel right away. So that Gambit plopping the power down early is working out for him pretty well. In the meantime, SkySilver scouts down at the bottom, trying to get some DPs, keep those from bleeding away since he's not doing too much in the engagements here. Those techs probably going to have to fall back soon if they're not careful, because they're taking a lot of fire and you really don't want to lose. You just want to minimize all tech or just high-cost model losses whenever you're fighting Imperial Guard. Scouts still have free reign over the bottom part of the map. DSM really focusing up top here, as would be expected. And now the catachans are up front, ready to cause some hurt here against this Tech Marine. They're just kind of standing there, though. They need to get in range. Their shotguns do tons of damage, but they are a bit shorter range. And wow, DSM actually purchasing a second squad of catachan devils right now. So we're going to have 2 guardsmen and 2 catachans on the field. That's going to be pretty brutal for SkySilver to work with. Probably going to want to see maybe the Mastercrafted Bolter here. That does some pretty nice damage against catachans and can help with trying to snipe off some models and things like that early on. Of course, you can use that in conjunction with scout grenades to great effect. Catachans, now that they have different model squad layout here, with just the 5 models instead of the 8. A little less prone to getting hit by grenades, but still excellent tool to use against them. SkySilver bringing a Devastator on the field and setting up some defensive mines right here. Unfortunately, those double catachans will probably just spot them and blast them before they get close. There goes the first Old Reliable, and yeah, those catachans just taking the mines out right now.
I'll get to that next.
But good attempt at defensive placement of those mines. Would have kept Imperial Guardsmen with flamers at bay for quite a while if they were trying to approach right there. And excellent use of the smoke grenade right there, keeping those catachans from taking much damage from range fire while it buys some time to get the rest of the army up there.
We're losing a victory point out there.
So with 2 catachans, he has really a squad to kind of just run around and intercept scouts and capping squads, because those catachans can really just take out any other one squad one-on-one. And the other squad can hang out with the Guardsmen and Inquisitor and try to push the Space Marine front line here. So once again, there goes another smoke bomb, and Imperial Guard are just regrouping, waiting for that second squad to push up, and now both squads of catachans are going to push up here and cause some damage. That Devastator's in a perfect spot to hold them back, though, and I'm not sure. He probably could have just used Old Reliable there and pushed that Devastator on back, but it looks like he's just going to try to flank, bring these catachans around back, and SkySilver's going to forge ahead into Tier 2. And just try to hold on to Tier 1 with what he's got. VP's looking pretty even right now. Tech Marine getting very low, and that's not good because these catachans are behind. There goes the retreat. Quite a few catachans go down from the other squad, but there's a full squad waiting behind this Tech Marine. And, oh man, it looks like he just barely escapes. Looks like those catachans didn't quite get in the position that they needed to. But Flamer's upgrading on the Tactical Marines, and DSM's going to have to watch out because SkySilver's in a perfect position to do some nice little gen bashing right here. Old Reliable goes off on that Devastator, but the catachans aren't going to be able to take advantage of that opening, just a bit too slow to get up into point blank range. And here goes the fire on the generators. Burning those away. Good play by SkySilver with that heavy investment into Tier 1 with the 2 catachans. That'll give SkySilver plenty of time to tech up and keep that tech lead. DSM can probably go into Tier 2 right about now. Yeah, it still won't take him long, but he won't have much power going into Tier 2 unless he can get these generators right back up very quickly. He has the requisition, but SkySilver's already on Tier 2. Probably going to be dropping a Razorback or a Librarian here soon. And that Devastator is just presenting any kind of support from coming out here. Although good maneuver with the catachans here. That's always something that people kind of tend to forget you can do. If there's a Devastator, just spread your squads out. Keep 2 on one side, keep 1 on the other, and just approach with one side or the other because they can't suppress both sides at the same time. DSM drops all 3 of those generators right back down as soon as the threat's off the field. And Inquisitor's sitting pretty much right outside of the Space Marine base, harassing the Tech Marine right now.
So the generator is
been doing a good job of going back and forth here. SkySilver's managed to keep the VP bleed from going too far, only down to 386, so just barely under 50 VPs down. Not a big deal at all, especially considering he's bringing a Dreadnought onto the field while DSM is just now halfway to Tier 2. So that Dreadnought should hit at a pretty reasonable time assuming that DSM doesn't purchase himself some stormtroopers as soon as he hits tier 2. So we're going to have to see how that plays out right here. Looks like Catachan's dropping some improvised explosives right there on top of that point. Always good use of that. Using it to defend those points, and the Tech Marine has to fall back, taking a lot of damage being right on top of that bomb. The only thing I would have to warn SkySilver, you got to be careful with this Dreadnought. Get some Sarges on these scouts, because really you always... Oh, and he heard me say that, because there's the Sarge. And whenever you have vehicles on the field against Imperial Guard, you have to have some sort of detection, because Melta Stormtroopers will just make short work of anything that hits the field as far as vehicles go. Catachan's using the old reliable, trying to get the VP, but no, they're not quite going to be able to get it. Drop the smoke bomb. Excellent use of that. Going to be able to decap that. Probably won't get the cap, but will buy plenty of time to decap the point.
I'll get to that next.
In the meantime, DSM trying to take down some power over here, but not going to be able to do too much as the Dreadnought lumbers forward. Catachans get the decap, but the scouts are just going to be able to take it right back. A 2-0 cap against SkySilver right now, and DSM needs to get something on the field. He was building some Ogrins, but spots that Devastator, cancels it right away, and gets a heavy weapons team. Probably a pretty good choice. The Ogrins wouldn't have been bad against it, but without any kind of support, they're not going to be able to take that Dreadnought out without all this Space Marine supporting fire hanging out behind it. So SkySilver actually purchasing himself some Assault Marines. Not really what I would have expected here. Not against double Catachans. Perhaps he's predicting that heavy weapons team and really wants to try to take out that anti-vehicle threat early. But I'm not sure. We'll have to see how those assaults work out for him. But with 2 Catachans on the field, I feel like that's just a lot of knockback and a lot of melee damage even if both of those squads manage to meet up with the Assault Marines. So here comes that las cannon, heavy weapons team already on the field, upgraded, and gonna pour some fire into that Dreadnought. I wouldn't be surprised to see this Dreadnought go for the assault cannon. Of course, DSM bringing some Ogrins on the field. You really want to make sure you have that that melee ground pound at this point. Honestly, if I were SkySilver, I would have just gotten a second Devastator instead of these Assault Marines and just kept the Devastators back behind, set the Dreadnought to an Assault Cannon, and just unleash some salvos into all these Imperial Guard infantry. But we'll have to see how this works out, see if these Assault Marines pay off or not. In the meantime, Catachan's all getting leveled up and, upgraded with their leaders. Pushing that Dreadnought in a bit far, gonna have to be very careful. That las cannon does lots of damage. Assault Marines already with their Sarge jumping in and harassing that anti-vehicle platform. But getting knocked over by the Catachan Devils and assaulted by Ogrins right out of the gate here. Tech Marine upgraded to his plasma rifle very quickly after seeing those Ogrins hit the field. There goes the Emperor's Fist, knocking all those Ogrins and giving them a quick stun. There goes a nice looking grenade. Oh, they canceled. Oh, the model that was throwing the grenade got killed by the Catachans. That would have probably landed right in the middle of this pile and caused some serious damage. But now that Dreadnought's looking pretty rough. Gonna have to pull that back. If he's not careful, he's gonna lose it already. Don't want to do that. That's a heavy investment, that Dreadnought. And it's in a good position to really push back and kind of clear this infantry away, but he should just head on back to base and get some patchwork done before he finds himself out of position. Even without the Ogrins on the field, Catachan Melta rifles can do some pretty reasonable AV damage. Oh, and they're retreating right into the Dreadnought. One swing, just, oh man, there goes 2 more. And those Catachans getting away with a mere 74 HP. So good defensive use of this Devastator, still locking down this top VP, and that's really what you want to be doing. Either use a turret or a Devastator as the Tech Marine. Lock that down, and then you just, all you have to worry about is keeping your forces condensed up here, because that's the worst thing to do as Space Marine, is just try to spread yourself too thin. You really want to just keep all of your stuff kind of together and push on one front whenever you can. So Dreadnought has 3 crews working on it. It'll heal itself up nice and quick right there. And everything for Mr. DSM hanging out at base, getting reinforced. A little bit of a standstill right now. Everybody's kind of hanging out, Maps pretty much even up. You see, the only difference is these two center points right here in control of DSM. DSM up by about 50 VPs. Really not been able to make any more than a 50 VP lead right now. But we're going to have to see how this next push works out, because both players are going to be coming in full force. And using that Dreadnought to push forward, I wouldn't do that. We're seeing just that extra damage coming from the las cannon. Assaults are jumping in, but you know it's going to be the same thing that you see from Eldar. Just like how you have your Banshees support your Shuriken, those Ogrins are going to be hanging back with the catachans supporting that las cannon. And the las cannon didn't retreat, didn't panic. Good play by DSM, because it's going to be able to fall back and set up once again. Scouts are coming in to try to support, but they really need to get that las cannon before it takes too many more shots at that Dreadnought. Catachan's taking a lot of damage, and that's what you want to be doing, is bleeding those catachans. Those are very expensive right now to reinforce. That was one of the drawbacks, one of the only drawbacks really, of reducing their squad sizes, that every model is now that much more expensive. So SkySilver is not hesitating to go ahead and try to cap most of the map here while he has the possibility to do so. And, oh man, perfect timing with that old reliable preventing the cap of the VP. Buying a few extra seconds right here for DSM's cause right now. So here comes all the guardsmen and catachans pushing back out, trying to scare those scouts away from the points. They got the decaps, but DSM is not going to let him take them for himself. And there goes another smoke bomb. Again, we've got all three squads supporting this Dreadnought, trying to heal that up right nice. And scouts falling back. They probably could have. I mean, I think he should probably be trying to use one of those scout squads to capture this lower VP once in a while. That'd probably even the VPs out and maybe even give him a little advantage, because DSM's having to try so hard to push this position with the Dreadnought. Oh, and here we go, a Tech Marine turret falling down, and that's what I wanted to see, some additional suppression. I suggested earlier to get a secondary Devastator, but this turret will do nicely. Unfortunately, oh man, it doesn't get the shot off on these Ogrins. Get that shotgun blast off, there you go. Knocking them right down in front of that turret, and those Ogrins are forced to retreat. A nice Hellfury strike on top of that turret. It will kill turrets, I believe, but with both the Scouts and Tech Marines supporting with repair, it's not going to get away. The Dreadnought, however, is very low, and oh man, look at that shot! Oh, he didn't know where the las cannon was, left the Dreadnought a little too exposed, and you can see, just look at it, right on the dots right there. Just barely didn't get away. And man, look at those catachans obliterating those assault marines. Oh, they go down. That's an expensive loss. What an engagement for DSM right here. Really paid off. He got the assault marines and the Dreadnought. I mean, that's 1,000 wreck alone unupgraded, and I know those assault marines at least had a sergeant. So that was really perfect engagement for DSM. Didn't get the VP, but caused a lot of hurt for SkySilver. SkySilver is now down to 4 squads, while DSM just has a full contingent right here, and those catachans are starting to level up. Once those catachans get level 3 or 4, they are just among the nastiest squads in the game. So Inquisitor doing a little harassing down bottom here, forced off the Devastator that was guarding the point, probably by going through center. I didn't quite spot that, and managed to get the decap. Scouts have come back out though and pushed it back. In the meantime, Catachan's trying to flank this turret right now, and finding a Devastator squad a little unsupported right here. And in the meantime, SkySilver is going to go ahead and purchase a Plasma Devastator. And I think that's a pretty solid purchase. Setup teams and Devastators in general, just very good against Imperial Guard generally. The only thing you have to worry about, of course, at that point is a Manticore. This Inquisitor is actually very low. She's going to bank on winning this engagement. Otherwise, this turret is going to finish off both of these squads here. There she goes, right in front of the turret, and down she falls. These Catachans are going to have to retreat right now, too, if they want to get out of there. Retarget that turret. I want to make sure that... Oh, no! It looks like it's shooting at the Ogrins instead. If it would have released that volley at point blank against those Catachans, they still almost go down with a mere 50 HP right there. But where you can see some call-in, the global call-in ability of the Inquisitor, pulling in these cloaked stormtroopers. Didn't manage to stay around too long. Here comes another Hell Fury strike on top of that turret. Looks like it's going to get it this time. Yeah, knocking the scouts over. Tech Marine isn't going to be able to get there in time. Plasma Dev pouring fire into those catachans. But the turret goes down, I think, on the last tick of damage right there. But SkySilver's not hesitating to put it right back up. He knows how valuable that turret is and is heading into Tier 3 while DSM's still stuck in Tier 2.
Their advantage is meager.
Now, despite being in Tier 2, he's really got a nice army composition here. The heavy weapons teams, Ogrins, and all these squads. That las cannon can still be a danger to this turret. It just has to park itself outside of its range and just pour some shots into that.
Won't be long, sir.
So again, we're seeing SkySilver's Devastator guarding that bottom point. Good play so far, and SkySilver's finally taken the VP lead here by turning it around by just about 50 VPs once again. DSM choosing not even to engage this side of the map. That's probably a good call. Bringing everything around through the center, gonna come up behind that turret, behind this Devastator, which is quickly trying to turn around right here. Oh no, it sets up the same direction. And, oh, the catachans knock it over, and it has no choice but to retreat. Now DSM can just sit here and trash this power, force SkySilver to react. And you can see he's lining that Plasma Devastator up to turn around. Again, using that smoke bomb to just buy a little time to get his army set up and turn around and fire. Oh, but here comes, oh, look at this plasma shot. This is going to be beautiful. Right into that squad. Oh, and bits everywhere. Look at those bits. I do love some bits, and I love Plasma Devastators. DSM really has to be careful with that Plasma Dev firing in there. Another sweet shot, but the Ogrins are now moving in. Gonna make short work of that Plasma Dev. Really, at that point, you just want to move that Plasma Dev out in front of this turret. Force those Ogrins if they want to melee to come in here. Oh, we have another call-in and a third Hell Fury strike. Oh no! Those Plasma Devs are in a bit of trouble. They're probably gonna get taken out by these Meltas. Oh, and everything retargets. They probably could have finished that off, but the turret went down. Nice looking grenade there. Hurting some Ogrins very nicely. Down to one Ogrin in that squad. Might not get out of there, but unfortunately with these Melta troopers firing on those attacks. Oh, I actually probably would have... I think he could have won that engagement maybe. Probably would have just gone in there and meleeed the Melta troopers. These guys aren't doing too much damage. They're down to about half their original squad strength, so it's really only like one squad of guardsmen right there. But better to play it safe. He had a pretty good engagement right there. Only managed to lose his turret and cause some reasonable damage as far as Ogrin and catachan bleed with that Plasma Devastator. So a 3-0 cap, unfortunately. DSM turning that VP lead right back around. SkySilver could only hold on to it for a few minutes here, and now DSM pushing back with a vengeance. Oh no, that Plasma Dev getting caught out of position again, but oh man, several Stormtroopers going down right there. Don't want to be losing those. They are very frail once they're spotted, and these two tactical squads not going to be able to do much against the catachans. Oh, but and they shall know no fear. Oh no, the Sarge goes down. I needed to not say Space Marine. I had to hesitate there because I got yelled at by one of my fans last time because I was saying the ability wrong.
Go ahead, sir.
So that is and they shall know no fear.
Order, sir.
So Scouts managing to take them out. Unfortunately, that tactical Marine gamut didn't work out because the Sergeant fell as soon as the ability was activated. And here comes a call, and looks like it's going to be a Venerable Dreadnought. Yes, it is, and that's oh man, this is just a good game. This is a real barn burner here, and man, I love Dreadnoughts and I love Plasma Devs, and so far I've gotten to see both so far used to great effect. You have to be very careful with this Dreadnought, though. SkySilver's got a chance to bring this game back, but if he loses this Vendread, I think that'll be just about it for him. He's lost a couple very costly squads so far. Lost his Assault Marines and his first Dreadnoughts. So doing some big plays still, nonetheless. But oh no, a misfire! I hate that. Oh, there's so much buildup with the Plasma Devastator. You hear that weapon spool up, and you just want to see something get knocked down. And there goes a nice shot, knocking over that las cannon. But, oh no, charging in with this Dreadnought, knocking everything over. But it's going to have to be very careful. It's out here without much support. Wow, SkySilver's in no position to support it right now, and the Ogrins and Las Cannon, the Melter Rifle on that catachans, that's going to be it, I think, for that Benjo. Very unfortunate for SkySilver, and yet another costly loss there for him. So here comes the Melter Troopers and the catachans all just pincering right in here on SkySilver's 2 squads. And I really think he's got to remember to melee whenever he can. Whenever you've got attacks against either Stormtroopers or Imperial Guardsmen, just go up and punch them. They do next to no damage in melee. You can really mitigate a lot of their ranged output right there. The catachans once again moving in and using that smoke grenade. You can see DSM's just been using all of the abilities on these catachans to great effect. Using the old reliable, the explosive shot, the smoke grenade, the improvised explosives, just all over the place. There we go, seeing some Space Marines chop up some guardsmen with the chainsword on that sergeant, and the heavy weapons team in the back there. In the meantime, a good little sneaky push down here in the bottom by SkySilver. Scouts taking out this VP, has the Devastator set up, and that might actually prevent these from pushing forward right here.
Roger, sir.
Looks like SkySilver finally found out Las Cannon. Inquisitor out here without any support. Don't want to lose her again. She already went down once. Looks like the Devastator held off the Ogrins and that Melta Stormtrooper team right there. Really, at this point, once that Devastator's fired, move it back and put it right here, because you know he's going to flank, and yet that's what he's doing. Go ahead, after that Devastator stops a quick push like that, relocate it so your opponent doesn't know where it is. Always good to have a Devastator where your opponent least suspected. Can really help control the map. Oh man, there goes the old reliable, knocks it down. These scouts need to get out of there though. Looks like the Ogrins are right in their retreat path and gonna be able to take them out though. And looks like they didn't attack, just using their range fire for some reason right there. But DSM is in a quick little run right here. Needs to take those VPs back. It was a 3-0 cap against them. And even those VPs right back out. This is just going back and forth right here. What a laborious game. Both players just playing their hearts out, trying to keep those VPs in their control, and just battles happening all over the map. Really, it's still anyone's game. SkySilver brought a Librarian onto the field, you can see. And I think that'll probably help a lot with that Devastator. Good positioning of this turret, by the way. Look, he positioned it a little differently this time so it could kind of cover this other side of the map. So as we just saw, it worked very well with those Ogrins. But the Tech Marines coming in with this plasma rifle, gonna start pouring some fire in. And again, these Ogrins not... You know what? I think they're in range stance. He may have accidentally put them in range stance because it looked like they were just firing their rifle at that tarantula turret right there, and that's probably what happened with those scouts as well.
The victory point is slipping away.
And and the Tech Marine in his altruistic form, sacrificing himself for this point right here, and then falling back as the scouts get the decap right there. So Tech Marine doing a good job preventing that decap. Scouts just need to go ahead and drop a grenade. Oh, they don't drop a grenade. They fire an explosive shot right in there. Oh, the improvised explosives not getting activated, unfortunately. Probably could have taken out a couple scout models there, but decided to hold on to that. And now the guardsmen upgraded both with plasma rifles. You can see all their little blue rifles on them. Gonna be a lot more of a threat against those tactical Marines now that they can really pour that plasma fire into there. So SkySilver purchasing another plasma dev. Really wants that ranged fire right there. First one went down.
You know we're ready.
And now we've got the Devastator again guarding VP. While instead of pushing the top, SkySilver's bringing a lot of his forces down bottom to push these VPs, because once both players get around 100 VPs, it really just becomes a battle for those victory points. Librarian upgraded with the Force Staff right now. That'll be good for keeping those Ogrins on their wraps. And oh man, it looks like the catachans were going around not to get into firing position on that turret, but just close enough for yet another Hell Fury strike. And here goes the Force Barrier. Wow, just perfectly positioned, knocking DSM's entire army away from that point. Perfect timing to get that Devastator set up. Oh no, but it doesn't target the Ogrins! And, Oh no, they're still on range stance. They need to get into melee stance. DSM, switch your Ogrins back. Oh man, that may have cost him a couple squads and a couple engagements by this point. But hopefully he realizes it at some point soon and fixes that Ogrin mistake right there. Because that is costing him some serious DPS. And once again, SkySilver falling completely back here. Has some reasonable resource right now. Can probably pull something onto the field here relatively soon. And now we're seeing the Excruciators come onto the field for the Inquisitor. Scouts getting called out of position once again, trying to capture these bottom points. Meanwhile, Plasma Dev's falling back. Gonna team up with that Devastator, it looks like, and protect that bottom VP. So DSM pushing around right now with all kinds of stuff. Librarian tries to get a smite and run away, but the Excruciators catch him, and the catachans are going to go ahead and beat up on him for a while. He retreats, looks like, just in the nick of time.
I protect the Imperium.
And I heard a Plasma Dev, so I had to look down there. I love watching Plasma Devs blow things up. It's one of my favorite things. Almost as fun as watching Dreadnoughts punch things. Good use of that smoke bomb again, trying to buy some time for those Ogrins to push in, but you can see a nicely placed grenade by SkySilver dissuaded them. They did not want to be walking on top of that grenade as they approach those techs and the Tech Marine. All that plasma fire is not their friend, caused some serious damage. And now DSM's just kind of holding out up front here. Pull that life. Oh, there we go. The Inquisitorial Mandate right now. That Inquisitor is invulnerable, pushing in with some enhanced speed. Ogrins look like they're going to engage these Tactical Marines. I probably just would have ran right by and tried to get on something else, because with that They Shall Know No Fear ability, of course, knocking Ogrins all over the place. Here comes another Force Barrier, and those Imperial Guardsmen just have to fall back. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see SkySilver's got some pretty heavy army upkeep right now, only pulling in 170 wreck a minute right now, so really hindering his ability to bring anything big tier 3 onto the field. Has been spending a lot reinforcing his tack, standing right on the edge of that Hellfury strike. Lost a model, and the scouts getting very brazen, charging ahead there right into the thick of the Imperial Guard army. Managed to escape with 4 HP very luckily. And here comes another Plasma Dev shot. Oh, but it hits the Librarian. Oh no! Tech Marine has his Refraction Orb, which is one of the best shields in the game. And here comes another Force Barrier, once again perfectly placed, knocking all of the Imperial Guardsmen all over the place and allowing that Tech Marine the necessary time to capture that point. So despite losing several squads, SkySilver is really holding on to this game. With 47 VPs, he's got 2 in his favor. You can see DSM's just keeping 1 squad of catachans down here to watch this lower point and bringing a Manticore onto the field right now. That Inquisitor is invulnerable, but she is not immune to knockback even with the Inquisitorial Mandate, so that Plasma Dev is the one thing that will keep her from decapping that point.
I am ready.
And now that the Mandate has worn off, the Librarian looks like he's moving in. Oh, but you gotta call that Plasma Dev off, because there goes the friendly fire. I'm not sure what this Las Cannon's doing back there. Honestly, I would have just used them to melee that Plasma Dev. I'm not sure what it's doing. It looks like it's just keeps setting up. You can see the other members of that squad trying to do some damage right there. And man, that Plasma Dev is just knocking over Ogrins and the Inquisitor again and again. There goes yet another Force Barrier. Ogrins managed to dodge that grenade, but the Plasma Devastator is still firing into that. And, man, just really anyone's game at this point. 80 to 40. Oh, 2 Ogrins fall into that Plasma Dev shot right there. And here comes the Manticore. Oh, taking out that Plasma Devastator in 1 volley. That's really what you got to be careful of. DSM finally recognized that those setup teams were causing him a lot of hurt. This Librarian needs to fall back, though. He is very low with catachans behind him. Oh, and he falls. Oh, that's a big hit for SkySilver. He really needed to not lose anything else at this stage of the game. 60 to 40 right now. Still anyone's shot. Another Plasma Devastator on the field. SkySilver knows all he needs to do is just keep those Devastators coming and knocking stuff over. Honestly, if he had brought a Predator onto the field at this point in the game, he probably could have caused a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, just not been able to get any power up. Been losing quite a few models, and of course Space Marine is very expensive to reinforce. So I've been doing a great job with these Plasma Devastators though, trying to take out that las cannon team. I'm not sure why. If he would have fired up into this infantry blob up here, would have caused a lot more damage. Without any vehicles on the field, that las cannon squad isn't much of a problem. Manticore coming down again on that central VP, while the Plasma Dev pours some artillery fire into those guardsmen. But luckily, They Shall Know No Fear was still up and prevented most of that mana core damage. Oh man, look at all those +3s popping up over there. Catachan's finally moving in on that Plasma Devastator. And oh no, it looks like yet a third Plasma Dev is going to go down here. 9 HP, he just needs to get... Oh, there goes the shot and bits for the last member of that Plasma Devastator squad. Oh, and look at that. Perfect. He knew that those catachans were coming. Wasn't set up the same way he always was. Had that Devastator look in the perfect direction and force the catachans off. That may make a difference here because it is 50 to 34 with the last few VPs slowly ticking away. SkySilver with not quite enough to bring in a Terminator squad or another Vendread. Has the red, but not quite enough wreck. Oh man, just look at these Stormtroopers obliterating those Tactical Marines. 2 tacks go down. Tech Marine has to fall back right here. And SkySilver's really only going to have about one more chance to get this game back right here. And it looks like the Tech Marine's just going to go ahead and charge forward with that Refractor Field. I unfortunately don't think it's going to be enough to scare off that Inquisitor, but he's going for it. Oh, actually, and there's the call-in. Just in time, we have the Vendread coming down, knocking all the Ogrins away, buying that Tech Marine some time. He can get this VP right now and push against these Stormtroopers who have been cloaked for quite a while, so they don't actually have the energy to drop a Melt-A-Bomb on top of this Vendread. So Tech Marine's going to be able to get this decap, but he needs to go ahead and engage these Stormtroopers before they destroy this Vendread. And, oh man, here goes the last cannon. It is back up, and that Vendread's going down. But if SkySilver can just hold on to this VP for a little while longer, it'll be all over, and he can go ahead and take the game as a victory for himself. So both squads have to fall back that were capping that. Tech Marine needs to get out of there, let that Devastator do its job. Catachan's down on the bottom point. SkySilver needs to get something down there to deal with that. He's down to just 3 squads, but he's so close to victory, he can taste it. And oh no, here comes the Manticore. That's probably going to be it for this point. Without that Devastator supporting, the Tech Marine's just not going to be able to do the necessary damage to this blob of Guardsmen to prevent that decap. So Tax and Scouts taking on these Catachans, but it looks like that's going to be it because the VPs are ticking down. It's going to be a 2-0 cap here. That Devastator's fighting to the last, just pouring all kinds of fire into that. But unfortunately, those Guardsmen are going to be able to take it out. 2-0 cap with 8 points left. That's going to be the game. Excellent play by both sides. DSM barely pulling that out in the end. Some excellent play by SkySilver. Using those Plasma Devastators just put copious amounts of hurt into all those Imperial Guard infantry. So, man, we actually didn't even see the Inquisitor pull out a lot of her usual tricks. A lot of her nasty spells didn't even come into play here this game too much. But that double Catachan build, just nasty against Space Marine. And SkySilver just wasn't quite on top of his squad preservation. Those Assault Marines, probably not the best choice in Tier 2. But, man, what a game. Look at this Devastator with 26 HP, still fighting to the last, pouring fire into that suppressed squad right there. So, excellent play. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to subscribe, leave some comments. I always appreciate it. And this is Red-Rupee. I will catch you guys next time.